What is going on? This is Altoni, and we are back again for the conversion from the FT Glider or Wonder Glider to a 3-channel RC plane. And I have it actually here, and we've gone out and actually, after doing some work, taking it out for a flight, you can see. And I'm going to share that short flight with you, and then we're going to come back and talk about it just a little bit. It's working. It flew. I don't believe it. We actually got flight out of this guy. Oh, that's so awesome. Now the wind calmed down just a little bit, but we actually got flight out of it. 3-channel. It actually flew. We broke the prop, unfortunately, but we did get in the air and she did fly. So the prop's broken, which I anticipated. So we're going to take this prop off, put a new prop on. We're going to do one more flight. And part of the reason why I'm doing this is because part of the reason why I'm going to do this second flight is just so I can get a little bit more footage of this guy in the air. Because my intent is this plane, so this plane is probably going to end up being a hangar queen, so to speak. She's just going to end up being something that hangs in my office just to say, hey, this is the first modified plane that I've built. And then we're going to go ahead, and we're already in the process of building a new design. I have a wing built already, which I need to build a fuselage around, and if we can get that finished up, then that's going to be it. Wow. That was crazy. She came down pretty hard, but I was trying to get her up off the ground, trying to get some altitude to give me room to play around with. But she came down hard, nose first, and yeah. So, all right. So that was the 2 short flights with this awesome little highly modified FT glider. Essentially, at this point, the only thing that is still a part of that original FT glider is the tail section here and the wing. Everything else is additional foam that I used to build a fuselage, and I slid the back end into here just to make it a little bit longer so that we could get the balance right for it. So what you can see there is that it did fly, which was phenomenal. It was a little unstable, but I think I know the reason why. Now I'm not going to pursue this any longer. It's taken me quite a long time just to get this far, and I've actually started working on building my RC, my version of RC plane. And of course, going into Onshape and doing some work and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of stepped back away from Onshape because I'm having to learn a lot, and just started building the wing. So the wing is actually completed at this point, and it's massive, very massive. So I'm going to design a fuselage around the wing. It doesn't have any dihedral, so it's going to be interesting, but that's what we're going to do. This guy is actually working. We did have a couple of issues, and I'm going to share them quickly with you. We're going to plug a battery into this guy really quickly. Make sure my throttle is off, and it is. And just to display. So this is a 3S LiPo battery. I actually ran this off of it. It came out of one of my DRC cars. This is a 1800 milliamp hour 3S LiPo battery, and in order to get the balance right, I actually had to, I made this almost the perfect size, and I had to actually shove it back in there a little ways in order to, it stays in place. Shove it back in there a little ways in order to get it to stay in place. Now, one of the other things that I had some problems with, you know, all of our steering and our elevation is off of the right throttle stick, right control stick using mode 2. So our rudder has been moved to the right because we're using a rudder on a 3-channel in order to go left and right. And the dihedral in the wing is going to stabilize after we make our turn. But the elevator, which seems to be working fine now, when I went out to the field, I did some tests with it, and it seemed to be sticking. There's a little bit of jitter in this, but the elevator was sticking when I originally flew it. And well, when I did my initial tests on the ground. Plus, it was rather windy when I took this guy out to fly. If I'd have flown it on a calmer day, it probably would have been a much better experience. But all of my controls are working. If I put this guy here, and you see no prop, prop actually breaks off, and she nosed down head first, and that's last flight, which you saw, which damaged the canopy, the cover here, and broke off our firewall. So if we go ahead and put this guy into, and then she still spins. And I mean, this particular motor just seemed to be just enough to get what we wanted out of it, which I think is great. But at this point, I'm going to glue this guy back up, and we're going to retire this plane. Let's go ahead and turn that back off. We're going to retire this plane. She's going to be a hangar queen. But it is, to me, my first attempt at building a very nice RC plane. Interesting. I was looking at the body size relative to the wing size. Well, my first modification to a different design. And the purpose for this modification, of course, was to get the feel of what it's like designing a plane. I take something that is already functional and try to add some additional functionality to it, which is what I've done here. And it seemed to have worked out pretty well. I'm pretty sure I could get this guy flying much better if I did another modification to the wing to actually flatten the wing out and put the dihedral into it and that kind of thing. I could probably get this guy flying very well, but which I may pursue sometime later. But right now, again, I'm in the middle of other projects. I'm working on some things. We've got our speed test or speed challenge going on, and then of course I'm building my 4-channel plane out of foam currently, which is going to be, like I said, it's massive. And I'll be sharing my whole build process in video on that as well. So that's going to be a multiple videos I've been capturing as I've been designing the wing and whatnot. So I'll be sharing that as well. So thanks so much for coming by and checking this guy out with me. I really appreciate it. I hope this has been a fun experience for you. It's been great for me so far. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.